Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Trigger warning. Today I'm going to be talking about that time I sexually assaulted a high school boy. To be fair, I was also in high school at the time, and it was a mild grope. I was groping and getting groped all the time by other guys in school. Our hormones were out of control, and the campaign for consent awareness hadn't quite reached our side of town at this point in American history. Recall, I'm in my 30s, so this happened over a decade ago. But none of that excuses or lessens the fact that I did indeed, without consent, sexually assault a very handsome boy in my class. And today, for the first time on the internet, I am confessing to my wrongdoing. Alright, here we go. This handsome guy, let's call him Chris, was not really involved in high-profile school activities like I was. He was a slim, athletic guy who mostly rolled solo and had maybe one or two close friends. He was very nice and friendly, and he had a pretty deep voice. One of our openly gay classmates, let's call him Alan, had a major crush on him. Everybody knew about the crush, even Chris, but he was so nice about it and was always friendly and respectful to Alan. One day in class, he asked me if I ever played gay chicken. What? It was an unexpected curveball, and I was freaking out inside. Probably because of my internalized homophobia, but mostly because this attractive guy just suggested gay chicken with me. So I lied and said I never heard of it just to buy some more time to panic, as he explained. But soon he proceeded to put his finger on my knee. I did the same to him, and as he moved it up my thigh slowly, I freaked out. Obviously, I would want him to keep going, but I could not contain myself and squirmed away. One of the most good-looking guys in my school was moving his hand up my thigh in the middle of science class. With my consent, of course. Yes, I was the gay guy. He was the straight guy. And when I pulled away, I lost to him in gay chicken. I will never know how far he would have gone, but there is no way I could have not freaked out. So, no regrets. Fast forward a bit, and a part of our campus had developed a sort of romantic subculture. A lot of guys would slap each other on the butt when passing each other. Some would hold it there a little too long, or even shamelessly go for the squeeze. I've even seen a guy completely cup another guy's balls for more than 10 seconds as he struggled to break free. 10 seconds is a long time when your balls are getting cupped in front of your friends. Chest grabbing and throwing another guy against the locker in a momentary sexual tease were also public displays of brief bromance witnessed on a daily basis. There was an assumed consent, and even some light roleplay of faux hesitation and domination sometimes. However, some guys were not as gentle. Do you know or remember what a ball tap is? Yes, there was one guy whose aim and velocity was so sharp that he left many a boy on the hallway floor, curling in pain. I didn't let my dignity reach the floor, but I did indeed feel that pain from his knuckles lightly striking my testicles at the right angle and speed to create a sharp, throbbing pain shooting up my abdomen. And I can confidently say I immediately began to swiftly and carefully cover the goods every time I passed him on campus. Now back to Chris. It was a casual day in class. We were assigned to a team with 2 other people to complete an assignment, and we were walking around different stations. I cannot lie, my hormonally charged adolescent hand was itching for a little grope of his butt as we walked around. And usually it takes 3 or 4 serious gropes for someone to start complaining. I know, that sounds so bad, but I learned the hard way that this was not always the case. I did a super light pat against his butt. You know, a friendly little cup. And he immediately, without warning, said loudly, "I'm not gay." I froze. Of course, after taking my hand away. Everybody in class heard it. I kid you not. Even the teacher. I was so embarrassed. That had never happened to me before. Such a light touch usually passed by quickly, forgotten, an unremarkable moment that might as well had never happened. But not this one. Maybe it was his cognizance of my patterned behavior. Maybe he simply just did not want to be touched that day, or ever. Because seriously, looking back now with our current social climate, it's incredible how much non-consensual touching there was in broad school daylight. It goes without saying, I never attempted something like that with him ever again, and maybe that was his objective. At some point after we graduated, I mustered up the strength, with the help of some liquid courage, to apologize to him. Friendly as Chris always was, he forgave me, and said it was no big deal. He could barely even remember what happened. It was a relief, but honestly, we can't expect everyone to forgive and let go of something that can be considered a criminal offense. Don't worry, my touchy high school days are in the past, and I am quite sensitive to consent nowadays. I once called out a guy who kissed me at the end of a first date for not asking first. It's nothing to boast about. I mean, look at my past. But you get my point. Always ask for consent. So that's it for this video. Feel free to comment below on your experiences. Were your high school days anywhere close to mine, or were they completely different? And finally, it would mean so much to me if you would like this video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you, and have a great day.